Alright, so if you're just in here for the funny stuff, there's a time code on the screen to skip right to it. Hope you enjoy your time here. You know, I've been thinking for like a week about what I wanted to say here with no script, and now I'm having trouble finding words, because this is... So, funny enough, this is actually the third time I've attempted to start a YouTube channel. The first one was ages ago at this point when I was elbow deep in, fandom stuff, and I wanted to make a channel dedicated to that fandom, and that didn't work out so well. The second time was in 2016-ish, when I had what I at the time thought I had the genius idea. Let's do Let's Play content in the year of our Lord 2016, me not realizing that was a dead format at the time. What is in this compilation, it represents, this is my third and best attempt. What I've made this year for this channel feels more true to what I wanted to do and the things I wanted to create than a lot of other things I've done in recent memory. In truth, I kind of started doing this because one of my main creative pursuits, I hit a wall. And I stopped writing for a while. And I needed to do something. So I thought, let's just make some freaking YouTube videos, see what happens. And, well, here we are. I made 8 hours and 6 minutes of video this year, which seems categorically insane. That, watching all the videos back to make this compilation, I was like, oh, fuck, I made this. I made all of this. This is all me. And then I also, especially looking at the first couple videos, I was like, oh my god, I made this? Why did the people who love me let me post this? Why did the people who love me let me post this? Why did they tell me this was good? And I know why they told me it was good, because they wanted me to do it more. And now I think I've created some really good stuff. I'm very proud of a few of the videos I've made, particularly the Star Fox Adventures, the Jericho video, and the Cultic video, because I think those three represent, the best, the main pillars of what I want to do with my videos, which is, number one, I want to talk about, in the case of the Cultic video, I want to talk about games that I really like. With the Star Fox video, it was things that I want to give an earnest shot to and or reevaluate, especially if I have a nostalgic attachment to them. And if they're mid, I would like to, seek out what in them is good. And then the Jericho video is that was just bad, and it was really fun to rip into it. And I think going forward, those three overarching types of videos are what I'm going to try to focus in on. Games that really make me feel one of those three particular ways. Obviously, I run a tiny shop at this point, but to have, even over 100 people that thought enough of me to click the subscribe button is it's surprisingly humbling. It's also a little terrifying in places, because I don't know what happened with that Dishonored video. I don't know why it has over 2,500 views, which is banana pants compared to my subscriber size at the time I'm saying this, but thank you if you watch that. As a matter of fact, thank you to anyone who watched anything, especially if you're listening to me right now. Because if you're listening to me right now, it means that you are subscribed, you saw the video pop up, and you like listening to me talk enough to, sit through this opening preamble where I'm just talking with no script for the first time in anything I've ever put up, and probably learning why I use a script for the most part. I also think that if you're listening to me and you're not subscribed to me, that means you saw this pop up as a suggested video somewhere, and you gave me a chance by clicking on this, and you're still listening to me here now. So, also, thank you to you people. Like I said, I made 8 hours and 6 minutes of video this year. I want to make more video next year. As in, I want to make more cumulative timed video. Does that make any sense? I don't know. It's a little tricky because I'm doing this as a hobby, set against the backdrop of a regular 9 to 5, which is, frankly, I think the ideal way to do this because I'm not beholden to the algorithm or AdSense to make my living and keep my lights on and keep my fridge full, which means I can do dumb shit and follow my strange little whims wherever those may go. But yeah, I want to make more video next year, more overall video content. I hate that word content, but it's appropriate here. Like, I want to make 8 hours and 30 minutes of video next year. Whether or not that will be spread over the same amount of videos I made this year, or more videos, or less videos, remains to be seen. I've got plenty of ideas on the stove. They're bubbling. A few things are scripted and ready to go already. And I just look forward to making it weirder. I want to get weirder. And I hope that me getting weirder means that those of you who are listening will stick around. Because I'm having fun, and I hope that you are enjoying me having fun. I hope that's why you're listening to me talk right now. Anyways, I have been yapping for long enough. Please enjoy the clip show, and I will see you next year. Ta-ta. Bye-bye. Have a good one. But the real game starts with map 2, Underhalls. Where is it? 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 We spend even more time in the sewers, kill some more frogs, wonder why the hell Dennis gets to eat good while I'm running my tail off, help this lady by saving her... Why is that mosquito painted like a cow?
Also, up ahead, Deep Ground has established a heavy line of defense. You probably won't even break a sweat, but I thought I would let you know.
Well, thanks for the fucking heads up.
Okay, General, but what about a weapon? Why couldn't I bring my blaster?
It's always the same with you, Fox. Shoot first, ask questions later. This mission is about saving the planet, not blowing it up. It requires a different tactic. Try using your head.
Unbeknownst to everyone around him, Fox McCloud developed an unquenchable thirst for violence during the Lilat Wars. Tack is voiced by Jason Marsden, who performs the character in the same high, kinda nasally register he used for Max in the Goofy movies. I was actually first exposed to him voicing Kovu in that direct-to-video Lion King sequel where his performance, opened doors that will never be closed.
We'll run away together and start a pride. All our own.
Rawlings, it's me, Ross. I don't know what happened. I think I'm in him.
Phrasing?
Silksong's release crashed Steam, the Nintendo eShop, the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Marketplace. The fucking Humble Store ran out of keys. I legitimately don't know how that's even possible. Today's playthrough will be focused on showing you possibilities, and will be... non-lethal. I kinda like Mount Erebus, it's stuffed to the gills with monsters to kill. Though the fire blue makes my eyes bleed, and I don't think I've ever finished it legitimately because the secret exit to Warrens is real easy to find. I've never been able to really strafe run consistently, hang on. I'm not going to pretend that Turok is some kind of 10 out of 10 undisputed forgotten masterpiece. It definitely has some issues we'll talk about, but it's a game I find myself returning to every so often. It's got a lot of character, and that goes a long way with me. And also, dinosaurs. They go down with 2 whacks of Tack's club. Later you can one-tap them, and you can also keep smacking them around after they make their death noise, but before they hit the ground. It's like repeatedly tagging enemies in Time Crisis. Also, this noise they make when they attack you is the same noise I make when I open my order of buffalo wings. We wind up at the Palace of the Mythical Krazoa Spirits because we're going to need a bit more than a stick to stop Scales. Here we run around and control Crystal in a larger space than the cramped galleon, and okay, yeah, let's just rip this band-aid off now. Crystal got a massive redesign in the transition from Dinosaur Planet, because a ton of work had gone into conceptualizing her character, and the team didn't want to cut her. They retooled her role in the story as well as her design, because apparently...
I think somewhere in his mind, Miyamoto's always pictured Star Fox as somewhat mature, and he's been saying things like, wouldn't it be good to add a slightly sexy character since the beginning. Likewise, for Star Fox 64, although the game certainly appeals to children somewhat, I think Miyamoto felt that leaning fully into that would be going too far, and he wanted to add some mature touches where possible.
Yeah, okay, the phrase mature touches is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Her outfit leaves nothing to the imagination. Like, look at this frame from where Scales is about to toss her off the ship. She's got fully sculpted glutes, thighs, and calves. And the hip sway when she walks! I think this was the most risque Nintendo got up until, like, Xenoblade 2? There's an analysis to be made, perhaps, about Crystal's design taking cues from old pulp sci-fi imagery, the beautiful alien princess in the skimpy outfit, your Frank Frazetta or Boris Vallejo aesthetic. Hell, her outfit reminds me a lot of Leia's during the Bard scenes of Return of the Jedi. But I am not here to analyze things that deeply. I'm an internet clown making videos to amuse myself, and hopefully other people, because if I don't laugh, I'd be screaming. So with that in mind...
It's called hentai, and it's art.
After that, without many other leads, I decide to clean out my quest log, so I go round up the last of the flowers for Greyroot and...
Smile on.
What do you mean I could have had poison tools 20 hours ago? Ah! Reeve here is another ancillary character from Final Fantasy VII, the one corporate suit at the Shinra Corporation who has a conscience and regrets the whole... In this sequel era, he's in charge of the World Regenesis Organization, WRO for short.
We need your help once more!
Reeve.
That was a close one!
Kate Sith here, please leave a comment about how I'm pronouncing the name wrong, is actually a robot that Reeve controls, which means that the real Reeve was piloting a robot. Nah, that joke's too easy. Nah, Star Wars sucks now because Disney owns it. As a multi-billion-dollar corporation whose sole objective is to make money, they've turned Star Wars into the Tubby Custard machine and put it up behind the bar next to the Marvel Slop dispenser. Doom 2 doesn't have separate episodes like the first game, it's all one continuous shot, but it's still separated into 3 distinct sections separated by text crawls. Circle of Death caps off the first one. It's a good map, good encounters, and plenty of resources. It's also where we meet the last of the monster lineup.
Finally, a worthy opponent.
This letter about the hot coffee thing is hilarious. For those too young to remember, the hot coffee scandal was a way overblown controversy around Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. In the course of the game, if you get protagonist CJ to high enough affection levels with any of his potential girlfriends, you can trigger a scene where she invites him inside for some coffee, and then they make a whole bunch of funny noises while the camera fades to black. Apparently, the plans were originally for it to be more visible. Hidden in the game's code is a little mini-game where you can actually control the various aspects of the bump and grind. By all accounts, it was supposed to be removed before San Andreas went gold, and that would have been the end of it if it had. But the minigame managed to slip through the cracks and make it onto the final version of the game that was sold commercially, and modders quickly found a way to make it accessible. Just to stress the point, this was meant to be removed, and it's not normally accessible to players. It required modifying the game. So everyone started freaking out about how there was a sex minigame in Grand Theft Auto and it became this whole media thing, and the game's rating was briefly changed to adults only even though Rockstar never made the feature official, and it was all really stupid because God forbid we depict a consensual sideways tango in a game where you can mercilessly mow down pedestrians in a tank, and it's even more funny now when I can go on Steam and see stuff on the front page with titles like Massage My Ex-Bully, Lust Eternal, and Useless Princess and the Village Renovation! Something you've probably noticed by now is how searing all the lighting is. You see it in the debris fires a little, but it becomes really obnoxious in the muzzle flashes of the squad's guns. I quadruple checked the options menu for bloom and ambient occlusion options to try to preserve my retinas, but there are none. Mercury Steam apparently didn't feel like it warranted time and effort to code in modifiers for those graphics settings. Clearly it was more important to make sure that the jiggle physics on Church's chest worked. This puts us next to an airship that takes us to a level called Numa Dunes for some sandboarding. If you're watching this video and you were born after the year, let's say 2010-ish, you may be confused as to why all of a sudden this run and jump platformer has turned into SSX. If you even know what SSX is, God, I'm old. For the initial run-through of all the missions, I'm limited to one fighter, and of course they're going to start off with the most iconic one. No, mute it! I accidentally blunder into the secret exit and command center and get zapped to Fortress of Mystery, where... Engage circle strafe procedures! You play as... Has the player base settled on a name for the player character in Cultic? They're silent save for pain noises, so we need to come up with a proper name for them. Let me think. We have Doom Guy, we have Dusk Dude, Cultic, Cult, Cull, Curly, Colonel Cultic, Captain Cultic? Yeah, we'll workshop it. Healing is done by chugging from a flask of bug juice, which gave me Vietnam flashbacks to Boy Scouts when we used to make something called the same thing by dumping 4 varieties of Kool-Aid powder in one of those big orange coolers. Unlike in Dark Souls where your healing item refills whenever you park it by a bonfire, the juice flask can only be filled by going to a keg,
or by slicing open bugs in the field and draining their viscera into the container.
One big change right off the bat that I appreciate is that Silksong has a formal quest system complete with objective markers. There's the big one, scale the Citadel and search for answers, but plenty of smaller ones to occupy your time and dole out smaller rewards. The first few are simple go here, get this type affairs, but a jaunt to a side area will get you the most important one. The fleas. The many fleas of this kingdom should be flocking to our caravan, but times have become dangerous. You feel it too, yes? Our poor cousins out there in hiding. Could you help us find those poor lost fleas? We daren't continue our journey until some of the poor dears have found their way here to us. Do I understand you rightly, stranger? You will help gather the lonely fleas to our caravan, truly? I'm traveling these lands for my own reasons, Flea Master. However, if I happen upon any in my travels, I will aid them as best I can. Team Cherry, plushies, right now. I will buy your entire stock! You have to load exploding eggs into a launcher corresponding to the lit up spot, but be sure to wait until it flashes before hitting the switch, because otherwise...
Bullshit.
Well, obviously not every game listed here would turn out to be good, but surely they don't devote time to something worse than... Oh my god, I almost forgot there was a time before Sonic 06 became one of the most infamous games ever. And we thought it might be good, even. Oh, and this was also before they lied about the visuals in the Killzone 2 trailer. Good times. Oh, this is before we knew what Assassin's Creed was. Good lord. Though I question what's Lynchian about the original trailer.
My name is Desmond Miles. I'm a prisoner of war.
In this level, we meet Shalua, who...
Your WRO.
Ma'am, what the fuck are you wearing? Ah. Tetsuya. In the slammer, this greaseball named Hiram Burrows outs himself as the ringleader, as if we can tell by looking at his sweaty ham-hock face. Though everyone looks a little moist in this game, to be honest. They were almost at issue 200 of the magazine, so there's a little, whoa, top 10 video game characters of all time thing here with all the usual suspects. They list Cloud's most embarrassing moment as dressing up in drag, which 1, see my previous comment about how the aughts sucked, and 2, you know you like how that twink looks in that dress, don't fucking deny it. Leech is voiced by Jim Cummings of all people in one of his seemingly endless instances of how are these two characters voiced by the same person?
I am sorry, Kevin, but it's you he wants.
No stuff and fluff.
The main objective is to scale to this upper level and get hold of the first of the Krazoa spirits, these... Once you get possessed by one, you get main characterized and have to take it to another shrine to let it loose, which entails... making the most erotic noises possible while thrusting out your chest. Miyamoto, was this your idea? There's one more dick kick waiting in E4M6 against the Wickedly, which has a ton of damaging floors requiring you to manage hazard suit power-ups, and just when you think you're done, it drops a cyber demon on you. Hold, please. The next frog boss has the most Star Wars-ass name I've heard in a while, Blocky Magoo. I know this game. Big fella with a shield, use the new two-hander to knock him down, watch for a slow but powerful follow-up. Simple. This should be a piece of... Oh, you motherfucker! At a rest stop in the middle of the Grey Expanse, I meet New. New is... odd.
Oh, ma! Sweet surprise for New! You are adult, yes? Fully grown? Ready to hunt?
Certainly I am no child, young one.
Perfect then! Nu must ask a wish. For her, you would seek Farloom's many fabulous bugs and cut them! Cut them with your blade! Cut them with your mature spirit! Cut them with your savage adult heart!
The outsider isn't as important in this game as he becomes later. He's more of an observer and dispenser of snide remarks, and he's not nearly as much of a catty bitch.
Corvo, old friend. Do I even have to say it? You've lost another empress.
See, I originally intended to play the version I have in my Steam library, the PC release called Rogue Squadron 3D. I knew this version was going to have some issues. The max resolution you can set the game to natively is 1280 by 720. It was already going to look a bit weird on my new 4K monitor. So I set my Nvidia card to force some filtering and anti-aliasing and fired it up. Oh no. Why am I down here? Where is my radar? Oh lord, I am untethered from the camera. Luke, I think we're going to need more than the Force to fix this! The final level has an ending stretch with both a mastermind and a cyber demon in it. Excuse me, I'm looking for a Mr. Ronald Wilson Reagan. Have either of you two seen him lately? The game's narrative begins during the endgame of Final Fantasy VII. The summoned meteor is descending from the sky, rousing the planet's weapons, which have mounted an attack on the industrial hellscape city of Midgar. Things are dire, the wind is blowing like a gale, the sky is full of calamity. So of course one of the first things the cinematic camera does is shove itself up Yuffie's ass. Listen, I'm all for gratuitous butt shots, but only if they're equal opportunity, and they only give us a handful of frames of Vincent's leather-clad bakery. 0 out of 10, absurd. The home stretch begins with... Okay, am I the only one who thinks it's a bit on the nose that the first weapon you can pick up in the level called Nirvana is a shotgun? Galdon has a pretty kick-ass design, but feels incomplete. You have to smack his tail a few times, he'll swallow you, or you can then attack his uvula, which has subsumed the spellstone. He spits you back out, and then you have to play the waiting game and watch for this specific animation before hitting his chest blowhole with a fire blast. Do that 3 times, he vores you again, use his uvula as a speed bag again, and then he keels over. It feels like there should be one more round of outside harm, rule of 3, you know?
Oh, you must forgive your father. You must work together to lead the Snowhorn tribe against Scales instead of fighting each other.
Wait, Fox, did your accent just change?
Oh, you must forgive your father. Oh, you must forgive your father.
Oh, you must forgive your father.
Their dialogue suggests that I need to get this thing to the bug in the Citadel on a time limit and that it's fragile. Okay, but no, they wouldn't possibly. I can just call up Aira and have her cart me up there. No. No. No way. You can't. No, you guys, you can't do this to me again. The task evolves in several iterations as the plants are moved farther apart and then get shields that you need to bait Tlaylock into destroying. Then...
Fantastic! Now it should be a piece of cake to destroy that... Oh! That feels strange. In this map, we meet new monster number 2.
Rattle me bones!
The real hilarious relic is the PS3 piece. If you've ever seen this picture before, this was not a joke or a shitpost. This mutant battering dildo hybrid was really one of the designs Sony was considering for the DualShock 3. I really like this ending bit where you clear out the final courtyard of dangerous monsters and hit this switch to lower the walls, and it takes like a minute. And I was sitting there waiting to see what onslaught awaited behind them, only for it to be one zombie guy. It's a good joke, but the real punchline is that when you fire a weapon to kill that zombie... More meatballs than an Olive Garden kitchen, jeez. Wait, hold on. Tricky just hops in this little compartment on the underside of the R-Wing? How the heck does he breathe in there? And what happens when I... The DualShock 2 thumbsticks that this game was designed around just weren't as sensitive as my mouse is, and moving the mouse in a direction causes this stuttering in the reticle movement. Incremental nudges in direction instead of smooth adjustment. Honestly, I'm just kinda used to the stick aiming now. The game's already worn out its welcome and I'm finishing it more out of obligation. I'm sure I'm relatively close to the end. What do you mean there's another 3 hours? Now we could just go deliver the code to Slackjaw and call it a day. But...
Come on, let's get
You brought me the numbers. I've been after this combination for months. If you ever need steady work, you come see me. Slackjaw knows a good man when he sees one.
Yeah, sure thing, bud. A running leap off the battlements here will get you to this switch, which leads to this room, which opens this door to the secret levels. Guten Tag, Schweinhunde. Wenn du hier bist, heißt das, dass Ronald Reagan in der Nähe ist. Wo kann ich finden? Ich muss mit ihm sprechen. Now with a key to access more of the station, we can flush out the rest of the cultists that are hiding. It's important to be thorough and check every nook and cranny. Oh, finally, a few friends that we can— Ah, fuck, shit! The blue wall of silence is made out of balsa wood, I guess. We go from wide open spaces outside to a cramped dungeon where the fighting grows more intense. The frogs here are the toughest specimens, amped up on some steroid that greens out their eyes. And it's not just the frogs, other critters have been exposed too, which takes me a second to realize because Jay just fucking caps a rat before Doug Cockle's narration is even finished. Holy shit. Communist moles don't play around with zombies, good to know. Okay, I'm hurting, I'm tired, but I'm almost done. You ever wonder how many archviles is too many? You probably haven't. But it's this many. The twist to this level is that there's actually 3 Lady Boyles, all sisters with different first names. Only one of them is the target, and which outfit she's wearing changes every playthrough. The obvious easy solution is to let the intrusive thoughts win.
You'll never believe this.
What is it now?
She had her job.
But we're not doing that.
That explains her reluctance to cooperate. The gateway to the next level of the Pixis. Somehow she's absorbed it. Made herself the key to opening the breach. It's inside of her.
Phrasing.
The icon continuously spawns demons, and since they hadn't figured out mouse look yet, you have to ride an elevator up and dump 3 rockets into his brain. It always takes me a few tries because I can never remember the timing. But between you and me, most community source ports have full mouse look integrated in, and you can just ride the elevator up and boom, 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 done. Or you can no-clip past the face entirely and have a chat with John Romero's head on a stick about his pain elemental placement. What's up, John? Along the bottom here is a cute little box full of extractions from the magazine's online forums. For you youngins in the audience, forums were basically Twitter in the old days. With even more racial slurs. I know that doesn't seem possible, but trust me.
What?
I love that line delivery. At some point, Nickelodeon remembered the tag IP was theirs and made a television show that I remember seeing one episode of and never watching again. When I was doing some fact-checking, I learned that there was apparently another game that follows the TV show, which has different voice actors and doesn't reference the first 3. Therefore, that means that there's a branching tack in the Power of Juju timeline, which means God is in fact dead.
It was the start of a true golden age, free of the scourge of frog spawn. Working with the molefolk below, they built a new kingdom of steam and industry and wonder.
At least until the moles grew tired of being led by those who claimed divine providence and exploited them for their labor, giving nothing in return, and rose up in glorious revolution. You know this is one hell of an overreaction to me saying I want to date your daughter.
Silence, you White Kingdom hussy! You will not tempt my lace with your liberal ways!
You were the one who gave her the kind of hips that wars are fought over. The first real destructive tool you get, though, is dynamite. Oh, the dynamite. If it were anatomically possible, I would have relations with Cultix dynamite. Though I suppose anything's possible if you try hard enough. You'll also find explosive shells for the shotgun here, which are best saved for, well, remember what I said a minute ago about the campaigner doing funny stuff to the local wildlife? Bad Dream is... Oh, look at them all. I've always wanted one of these slime controllers that they released for Dragon Quest VIII. It's the goofiest thing ever, even if this picture makes it look like it'll watch you sleep. The next level is a giant cityscape like we saw back in the base campaign for Doom 2, and I really like it. It brings back that feeling of merciless building by building sweeping, not letting any of these demon bastards live. Also, the level is called Odyssey of Noises, which is both a fantastic name for a level, and the way I'm going to describe Knocked Loose from now on. In here we also get a new staff power, the Ice Blast, which has applications in puzzles, and also breaks the combat. There is no reason to mash through the same 3 canned combos against the enemies when I can just assign this thing to the Y button, blast the mooks with it until they freeze, then give them the Jason X treatment. The next map is Stronghold, and this one's the first real pain in the ass. Out of the 297 enemies on this map, only 1 isn't a hit-scanning zombie. Crank that firing squad analogy up to maximum, because every nook and cranny of this map hides a fucking platoon of undead soldiers. Enough that their bodies carpet the floor after I'm done.
Dr. Crescent's data has begun defragmenting within my mind. I can see many different images. Images she experienced with you.
Okay, listen, we only did that thing with the peanut butter and the screwdriver one time, okay? If you say so. Pillow Princess. The test of strength is simple on paper. Mash the A button as fast as you can to shove this no-thoughts head empty motherfucker into the hole. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. You're wrong. You know nothing. You have to hit the button absurdly fast. Borderline controller breaking fast. The only way I was ever able to do this as a kid was enlisting my younger brother for help, setting the controller on the coffee table, and both of us going ham on the button with pencil erasers like we were hammering in a railway spike tweaking on Adderall. And even then, it wasn't guaranteed. I knew this was coming, and I thought, I'm 20 years older and better at games now, I can probably do this. I could not do it. No, really, I couldn't. This challenge is patently absurd. I had the foresight to take my phone out and use it to record the sounds of me pressing the button over and over during an attempt, and I want you all to listen to this. How the fuck is pressing the button that fast for that long not enough? Look, his foot even slides over the edge of the pit. Come on! And this is mandatory. You have to beat this challenge or you don't get to progress. God help the kids that played this back in the day who didn't have a sibling to tag team with, and shout out to my brother for helping me. Nowadays, though, I don't have the patience or the lack of carpal tunnel to brute force this, so we're going to solve this with a modern solution. Just do a little bit of this, add this line of code into the arguments box, and now holding the button is the equivalent of pressing it 10 times a second. Yeah! Fuck you! Wait, are those... Okay. You see this? This is not okay. So the zombies are fast now, and you can see the light glinting off their feral predator eyes as they wait for you in the dark. Awesome, cool, thanks. That's just great. At least I have the manager's key and can open up the storage lockers in the basement now. Alright, that's everyone. Now to get out of here and... Fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, fuck everything. There is a reason this is at the bottom of the selection list, other than the logical reason of it being in order of release. Legacy of Rust is absolutely, wholly, categorically, completely, undisputedly not fucking around. The Shara is a non-combat level where you progress by having cutscenes with the named characters. There are a few randos hanging around that have things to say.
I keep my new river chocobo there. He was born just a few weeks ago. I named him Boko. Boko, a noble name for a noble seed.
I ain't got what it takes to save the world. Not like you did, sir. But I'm ready to fight. And I know that there's somebody out there who needs me to fight for them and their freedoms. And that's why I don't mind taking second stage to the heroes of this story. Heroes like you.
Oh good, we could use the cannon fodder. I still can't escape from Doom, apparently. I think this is supposed to be a Hell Knight tearing through a wall, but it looks like he's trying to get into a subway car taking off without him. No, wait, please, I bought a ticket, I didn't jump the fare. Hunted? What am I hunting? Oh. Since we're doing the Cruel Mercy, though, you can just ignore both of them outright, and instead go find this kinky bastard that Slackjaw asked us to put the screws to.
Finally. I've been like this for 20 minutes. Your footsteps sound a little loud. Have you gained a little weight, honey? Now, just like last time, understand? Slowly, and only trigger the shock at my command. Get it? And the safe word tonight will be retribution, let's say. Retribution! Retribution! That was perfect. But it's all I can take for tonight. Call my servants. We're done.
Little did I know what seeds were being planted upon hearing Fox moan like this as a kid. Go To It is Plutonia's final form, the entirety of my earlier Hellraiser metaphor distilled into a single map. The monster list reads like a sick joke. 28 Mancubi, 26 Arachnotrons, 11 Pain Elementals, 19 Archviles, 3 of which are hidden in this monster closet, and most of which I see spawn all at once through this window in a sight that makes me have to hunt for a new pair of pants. Enough revenants to fill the Paris catacombs! While doing that, I get bodied by this odd enemy I've never seen before in Greymoor, and... Wait. Son of a bitch, this game has its own version of the Bloodborne Snatchers. Except the Snatchers at least had the decency to not steal my fucking clothes! Alone in the Dark. Let's hope Tara Reid reprises her film role. Wait, wasn't that an Uwe Boll monstrosity? Holy shit, this movie's soundtrack is awesome! Inside the holding cell is the Cloud Runner Queen.
Whoa! A Cloud Runner! Shoo shoo! Go away, Cloud Runner! Get away!
Have you two met?
He is an Earthwalker. I am a Cloud Runner. Our tribes do not see eye to eye. His father has probably been saying bad things about me.
Tricky is racist, apparently. Once they're all gone, the game directs you to use Billy to cross the gap. Luckily, I'm acclimated to this game's bullshit now and know this is going to be a QTE, so I just breeze through it. Oh, you son of a bitch! This final boss battle has some cool otherworldly aesthetics, reminds me of the white void you fight Safer Sephiroth in at the end of FF7. Safer Sephiroth is a proper final boss requiring some strategy and thinking. Okay, so apparently the rights to the Game Informer name and archive were acquired by a game studio called Gunzilla Games. They hired back all the magazine staff that got laid off and plan to restart the publication of the physical editions. That's an interestingly positive turnaround. Alright, they have a game in early access called Off the Grid, a cyberpunk What? A fucking battle royale? In this year of our Lord and Savior, the Lightbringer 2025? Are you kidding me? And there's NFTs too? Game Informer better not fill in their grave behind them. Given that this is their new management, it's not a matter of if they'll have to hop back in, it's when. If I have to knock Plutonia for something, it's the inconsistency with damaging floors. There's no designated texture for what'll hurt you and what doesn't. Sometimes water is just water, other times it's blue acid, like you find in a battery, or Mountain Dew Voltage. America's Army, the official game of the US Army. Yeah, as opposed to the unofficial game of the US Army, 6 Days in Fallujah. The 2 penultimate maps are massive in a good way. The sewers has a ton of room to maneuver and uses that as an excuse to toss hordes of enemies at you, including this bit here where I turn this hallway into the bridge at the end of the Mines of Moria.
Shall not pass! I've been looking forward to this day, to see you again, Fox McCloud.
Now some of you may be wondering, who the hell is this? Well, this is Andros. He got blown up at the end of Star Fox 64. How is he here? That's a very good question, and the answer is, I don't know. And I don't think the game does either. So for now it's best to avoid it or disable it entirely by pulling the plug. Or in this case, pulling the glowing tank of whale oil. Dunwall is based heavily on 18th century England at the tail end of the Age of Sail, with dashes of steampunk and dark fantasy. In this setting, whale oil isn't just extracted, it's refined into a glowing energy source that powers all the traps and gizmos you have to work around. It also blows up real good. One other advantage of playing mouse and keyboard is that you can sequence break, like I do here by jumping off the geometry and getting up to a ledge that normally requires taking a teleporter inside the temple. It lets me skip right to this final temple section where we square up with the first boss, the Long Hunter. The fight starts with him summoning SUVs to try to run you over, and, well... Good, gameplay variety, fun multiplayer. Bad, floaty controls. Not as controversial, Jack X's unlockable hot coffee clip. What unlockable hot coffee clip? The claw line is another game changer on the level of the sprint. If you played Doom Eternal, remember how awesome the meat hook for the shotgun was, getting to snag fleeing enemies and get right up in their face? Transpose that to 2 dimensions. No more can aerial enemies simply flutter out of your range, you can chase them down. This thing pulls you to walls as well, and when I realized that you can chain jumps and floats out of it, I felt my brain expand. A similar feeling came about when I explored the Underworks further and found the 12th Architect here, who was just throwing it back, goddamn. Oh shit everyone, look at this! You could win a dance mat signed by celebrities, including the cast of Lost, Paris Hilton, Hilary Duff, Gene Simmons, Andy Dick. Knocking out the guards one by one is a bit tedious, since the only non-lethal options we have are the sleeper hold and sleep darts that look like they're full of reagent. But like I said before, we're professionals and have a non-murderous reputation to uphold. That doesn't mean we can't have a little fun piling the snoozing overseers in a corner, though. Don't let the intrusive thoughts win. Don't let the intrusive thoughts win. Don't do it. The second mission introduces you to the target of both my affection and ire, the orange radar cone. Nominally, this thing is supposed to steer you towards the game's objectives, and it does that well enough on the levels that have objectives that go in sequence. On other levels that are more open-ended, it loses focus, like me during high school calculus. Look, Mr. Robinson, I'm so sorry, I really tried. You lost me when you started putting in the imaginary numbers. Why do I need to solve for them if they're imaginary? After pilfering the recording from the safe, you can do a little more prowling, which requires a deft touch as the guard coverage at this point in the game, even on low chaos, is pretty much comprehensive. So of course I promptly alert every guard on the floor. An Imperial ace named Ceitinn Moore defects to the rebels at the end of this mission. She's a little miffed that the Empire, blew up her home planet. Cool thing, Moore is voiced by Olivia Hussey, who played main character Jess in the proto-slasher film classic Black Christmas, and was also in, Ice Cream Man. I feel less for having played this. I only did it because I felt like I should at least do all of the original FF7 material before digging into the remake. That was a giant waste of time, because based on the reception this thing got back when it first came out, there is no way any of this is making it into the remake project.
That should be everything. Initiate projection sequence. What do you make of your new form, Vice?
What?
They shall be slashed, strangled, and slaughtered.
What?
Let the hunt begin!
What?! As squad leader, Ross has a blue aura heal that can pick up downed allies. The scripting governing the audio cues seems a bit off, though.
Hang on, Abby! Help's coming! Pussies!
It's nice to have the lights on and not have those awful jittery zombies coming at me to bite my face off. Fuck, shit, no, goddammit, why?! There's a handheld preview for 2006 featuring Metal Gear Acid 2, Loco Roco, Super Monkey Ball DS, and... What? I mean, at least his design is good. It's a detailed and freaky upgrade to his N64 look. Though I'm not sure who made the call to give him the skin tone of the last hot dog left under the gas station broiler. I can't glaze up the design of these maps enough. The level of clarity in what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go is basically idiot-proof. And I am a level of idiot that pushes supposedly idiot-proof things to their limit. Like, true story, when I was playing Skyrim for the first time, I didn't realize that the Dragon Claw things that unlock the tombs have the symbols you need on them and was brute forcing the combination locks. My friends have never let me live that down, nor should they. Remember Granny Rags and Slackjaw? Well, the latter finally had enough of the former and tried to kill her, only to discover she's a witch and is a smidge outclassed. Now, I could just leave, but Slackjaw did do me that favor, and I kinda owe him one for robbing the safe before he did. To kill Granny Rags, you need to fish a cameo out from under her pillow and huck it in the furnace to render her mortal, and then it's dealer's choice. Hey, so, we cool?
I'm gonna teach you to speak English with this fucking knife!
Alright, fair enough.
What's this? You bring witches with you too? You honor me. It's been so long since I tasted of both sexes.
Phrasing, boom!
I get to spirit drains and I'm ready to deal with another 100 and change monsters, perhaps. Then I open the auto map and... Oh no, this looks... Okay, so this game doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. I didn't even know that was possible.
U.S. Army, halt! Show me your hands!
Easy, guys, they could be friendlies.
They're not stopping.
Okay, the idea that members of the US military would have this much trigger discipline in the Middle East in 2007 is probably the most unrealistic thing in the game.
His entire family was taken by the plague. It's just him now.
My intrusive thoughts demand that I allocate one bomb of my limited supply to erasing this entire company of stormtroopers in one go. Why did the developers make them scream like that? And last but not least, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance was fresh on the market and didn't cost an arm and a leg. They review it in this issue, and listen, I tolerate a lot of things, but I will not accept any slander of cat girls, and I happen to like my women distressingly burly. From there I delve into this ominous passage full of spirits that got lost when Peck deactivated the containment unit. Never mind, these kids might be attacking thinking that the Jerichos would be too moral to use firearms on children. But we're from America. Oh, hello, little ghost.
Sup?
You mind giving me a hand here?
Is that your girlfriend?
Look, I'm working the angles. Help me out here.
Wingman mode activate!
Now to just heal up and...